The Carolina Panthers have had a losing record for 7 consecutive seasons. That changes this year. This team is one of the most improved going into this upcoming NFL season. Offensively, they have given Bryce Young an army to where in year 3 is put up or shut up for King Bryce, a.k.a. the Carolina Reaper. I don't feel like that second half performance that he had during the regular season in 2024 was a fluke. That conversation with Rod Wave saved Bryce Young's career, and you can't convince me otherwise. He was a top 15 quarterback during that span. He was going toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes, for crying out loud. Like, King Bryce was out there balling out. And with the supporting cast that he has going into this year, you drafted Tech McMillan 8th overall. He's going to be that big body wide receiver that's going to make life easy for Bryce. With Bryce Young being undersized, it's a lot harder for him to see the field than your average quarterback. But when you got a big Hawaiian specimen like Tech McMillan, it doesn't matter how short you are playing quarterback. You could be 5'2" behind center. A guy like Tech McMillan is pretty hard to freaking miss. And all you got to do is put the football somewhere in his proximity and he's going to come down with it. Rather, if it's moving the chains as possession receiver or being a big body, goal ball, deep threat kind of guy, Tech McMillan can do it all for this Panthers offense. You drafted Jimmy Horn Jr. day 3 of the draft. That's one of my favorite picks by any team in this draft class. Not only is he going to be in contention for immediate playing time, but he's going to be the Panthers slot receiver of the future. He's really good after the catch. He's a really good route runner. He's Tank Dell, but more well-built. And we know how good Tank Dell has been when he's able to stay healthy. You got Jalen Cocker, who is also really good. Xavier Legette, you know, he has some flashes. It's nothing to improve your hands. All he has to do is get his ass on that jug machine, catch 200 passes a day on that thing, and he'll be good. You got Jatavian Sanders at tight end. You got Chuba Hubbard at running back, and you got one of the better offensive lines in the NFL last year. The offense that the Panthers have coming into this season is probably the most talented that they've had in these last couple of years. There are no more excuses to be made for Bryce Young going into this year. If he reverts back to what we saw the first 2 weeks of the regular season last year, then hell, Panthers fans might need to watch every game drunk this year if that's what they're going to get out of Bryce, but I strongly doubt it. I really feel like after that convo with Rod Wave, Bryce Young truly turned the corner in his career. The Panthers are finally going to have a defense this year as well. You're not going to have to rely on your offense to score 28, 30 points per game to win you games. This defense has improved just as much as what this offense has this offseason. You're bringing in 2 stud rookie pass rushers. You got Nick Scourtin out of Texas A&M. You got a really good edge rusher out of Ole Miss. And you also improve your secondary. You signed Trayvon Moorick in free agency, who's really good against the run. You also drafted Lathan Ransom, a really good safety out of Ohio State. Ejiro Evero has a better defense to call plays for than what he had last year. You get a healthy Derek Brown back. You made some really good free agency signings on the interior of that defensive line as well. This division is wide open. And it's not just because of the supporting cast that Bryce Young has and the improvements that they've made on defense. There's not a lot of good coaches in this division, at least coaches that you can count on. Todd Bowles has benefited off being able to take advantage of a weak division, having a very big talent advantage. But the Carolina Panthers, I don't think they're too far off from what the Buccaneers are. And with the amount of questionable coaching decisions that Todd Bowles and Raheem Morris have made. With Dave Canales, there's a lot to be optimistic about. He did a really good job of helping find a way to tailor the offense toward Bryce Young's strengths. And regardless of the conversation that Bryce had with Rod Wave, Dave Canales played a factor in Bryce Young having that late season resurgence as well. He learned that Bryce Young, with his size limitations, a 3-step drop back for him is a 5-step drop back. A 5-step drop back is a 7-step drop back for Bryce. Those are the small attentions to details that Dave Canales was able to realize and change and alter the scheme to help elevate Bryce Young. And despite the Panthers having a pretty tough schedule, there's not a single team that they shouldn't be able to compete with. There's probably a few teams that they have no chance at being able to beat, but with how Bryce Young was just going toe-to-toe with Mahomes and whatnot, you got to feel really encouraged about the huge leap that he's going to take in 2025. Now, is he going to put up MVP numbers? Is he going to light the world on fire? No. Bryce Young is a point guard. Think CP3 at quarterback, Chris Paul at quarterback. That's what Bryce Young is. He's a distributor. He's going to get the ball out of his hands fast. He's going to take care of the football. He didn't have a lot of turnovers after his benching. When he came off the bench, not only was he looking more poised and confident, but he wasn't putting the football in harm's way like he was in the past. The Carolina Panthers this year no longer are the punching bag of the NFC South. That now is the New Orleans Saints. They're going to be the worst team in this division. The Panthers, I'm expecting this to be a 7 to 9 win team with the possibility of maybe winning this division due to the question marks you have at coaching with Raheem Morris, Todd Bowles, and they possibly, even if they don't win this division, maybe they sneak into the playoffs as a 7 seed. Good quarterback play can change a lot for an organization, and the Panthers haven't really had that until the second half of last season out of Bryce Young. Before that, you didn't have that since you got rid of Cam Newton and you kicked him to the Wolves. The Panthers are a really good team this year in terms of what they could be, in terms of surprising us, making it to the playoffs when we least expected. But they aren't going to be a team that's a laughingstock anymore. They're not going to be a team when you see Carolina on the schedule, you're going to be like, hell yeah, I'm finna bet the house against them. I'm finna take whatever is the spread against Carolina. Oh, they're a double-digit underdog. I'm taking them to not cover. The Carolina Panthers are going to be a team that this year, if you bet against them, they're going to lose you a lot of money. You got the quarterback position situated. You got a really good offensive line. Bryce Young has an army to throw the football to with the improved defense. The Panthers don't need to have an elite defense to win this division. All they need their defense to be is average to slightly above average, and that's good enough. When you have the coaches that the Panthers are going up against in this division, they're going to have opportunities where teams just give them wins. With the questionable clock management that we've seen out of Raheem Morris and Todd Bowles kind of stepping on his own toes, this is the same coach who lost to Kirk Cousins twice last season. So, with the division now improving in talent, the Panthers being one of those teams that has improved, it no longer is a guarantee that the Bucs are going to win this division. The Falcons are pretty good. The Panthers are now really good as well. Don't sleep on Carolina this upcoming season.